Hey, graphic designers, checking in today on day 3, okay, of your assignment. Day 3 is going to be a body kind of like mix up, basically. So I'm doing characters from SpongeBob. So what I'm going to start with is going to file open, and I'm going to open some of my files, okay? If I hit Command or Control, I can open multiple. So I'm hitting 3 to open right now to start, and I'm going to come back. And I don't want to overwhelm my screen, so I'm doing the remaining 2 now. The next thing I want to do is create a completely new file. I'm going to change my px to inches. Going to name this body mix up. Going to change my size. I'm going to make it 12 by 10 again. I like that size. It's a little bit more rectangular. I just like to work with it. I'm going to hit create. All right. First thing I'm going to do, and I always do this, make a new layer and I get rid of the background layer, just how I am. Okay, I'm going to start with the characters first and then go from there, just taking the pieces that I want. All right, so let's start. I like Sandy's head, so I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to use the quick selection tool. Okay, and with the quick selection tool, remember your brackets work. I'm going to select her head, make sure everything's in there, select parts. Remember, you can hit Control C to go back, select other parts that I might need, like this white line, but because it's so small, I want to make sure that it goes through. We might have to come back to that one, okay, because you can see it's like copying everything. If worse comes to worse, what you can do is you can use the lasso tool. If you just want to, I'm going to hit Command D for a second, go in and use a certain part. So say I just want this part. I can come in with the lasso tool, come around, come around, come around. And when I bring it back and connect it, it highlights everything within that space. Okay, so I can hit, at this point, Control C. All right, and then bring it over to my body mix up page, and it has everything to start. So there's layer 1, make my second layer. For SpongeBob, I'm gonna zoom in. What I wanna get from SpongeBob, okay, is, let's see, I'm going to go back to my quick selection tool, and you can kind of go back and forth depending on how you want it. I think I'm going to do his arms and his legs. So I'm going to make this a little smaller. That got most of his arm. I'm going to do one arm at a time. Okay, so I hit Control C, Control V over there. Oh, it highlighted all of Patrick. Sometimes it's a little hard to see. That's why I always suggest like finding something with like a clear background like that. I have another image that I'm going to go and actually access real quick. I downloaded two just in case because I saw the differences. So I have this one, and then I have this one too. Whichever one I think is better. This one might actually work a little bit better, so let's see. Still getting all of him, so we're going to come back and we're going to use the lasso tool. I know it's an adjustment getting used to all these tools, especially since we were just in Photoshop and we had, just got them down, but we're, working with what we have to get it done. Connect this. I'm going to hit Control C, and then on here I can clean it up. So now I'm going to exit this extra SpongeBob. There, I have an arm. Okay, and just depending on how I do the rest of the body will be like what I do with it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there for now. Going to come into Patrick, and I'm going to just basically get like his body. I'm not going to get his arms. I may have to come in and like erase pieces of his arm just to make him like, flat and center. So coming in, using this tool, seeing what happens when I use my quick selection tool. All right, and it seems like it's got everything on him. And I really just want to get like this part in here. As you can see, it collects everything. So what I'm going to do, same thing, go back to this lasso tool. I know it's a little finicky, and that's like my one complaint with the program is that it is a little finicky, and like it doesn't let you necessarily select everything that you want to select. Okay, so I'm going to come down. I'm going to collect this. I may go back and get SpongeBob's legs too. So now I have his body, and like I said, I'll come in and I will work with, adding the different details to it. And with layering, I'll show you ways that you can kind of manipulate and whatnot. So now I'm going to minimize these for a minute, make another layer and put it on top. Okay. The last thing I'm going to get is Plankton. And I'm hitting Control 0 to zoom in, by the way. You can also, if you need to zoom in, you can hit Control plus or Control minus to zoom in. Okay, you also have this little tool here if you need to magnify. So I'm going to use the lasso tool once again. And with the lasso tool, I am going to collect his antennas. That's what I wanted to get from Plankton. All right. Once again, Control C, Control V over. Okay, so now it's like arranging what I want and what I want where. All right, since I have her head, I'm thinking about like where I want to cut Patrick's face off and other manipulations that you can do depending on what you have. Okay, so let's start with Sandy. I'm just going to minimize her, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this down to the bottom. I'm going to resize, and I did it again. Like I said before, I'm always really bad at hitting Control T. I'm so used to it. I'm going to do Command Shift T, and then I'm going to hit Shift and resize Patrick a little bit so that his body fits within here. Okay, hit Enter when you're done, and then we'll be putting, and let me minimize these guys. Using my arrow, you're going to be eventually, like, I'm going to be putting the head on here. So because I want to do that, I want to resize, and don't be like me and do that every single time. Like I said, it's going to take a while to train my brain to not do that. I want to essentially attach this right here. Okay, so I'm going to hit Enter right there this way that I know, like, I can see, and when I'm erasing on layer 3, okay, I can just come in and use my eraser tool very easily. Or even the nice thing about this is if I'm highlighting certain sections back here, it's on this specific layer. Do you notice it's not on layer 1? I can hit delete to get rid of it. Okay, and once I'm done, I Control D, it deselects. You either have the option of doing that, okay, hitting delete, okay, or you can come in with your eraser tool. If you're using your eraser tool, you just come in and erase. And I want to make sure, even though I can't see it, because, you know, it's like right here, I want to make sure that I'm erasing everything I don't need since I'm doing her head on his body. Okay, and once again, just making sure I'm on the correct layer. Okay, and then with this, because I have other things I need to erase, like part of his arm right here, I can come in with the eraser very carefully. Okay, there we go. Oops. And then make sure you like let up a little bit every now and then. I know that's my problem. I'm always like holding on to the eraser. So if I'm letting up a little bit, then I'll be able to, like if I make a mistake, actually go back and not have to worry about like pieces missing. Okay. I'll actually leave that piece for now. Now I also want to kind of like even out this side. And I'm going to show you a little trick with that. Because I want it to like match this. Hopefully this will work on this computer like it works on ours. You have the clone stamp tool, and you also have the Band-Aid, the spot healing brush. Okay. What you should typically do is on the main computer for the heal selection, I want to heal this area is what I want to do. Okay, I can click on it and it'll show me what will happen. But on the main computer, you can typically click Alt, and you might be able to on your Chromebooks to be able to get it to work. Now, if I want to, once again, blend, see if you saw that pop up. So like if I click this, you see select clone source by holding Alt or Control K. So for me, I'm going to hit Command K, and now I'm not too sure. Here we go. Command, no. There we go. Option for me. It's option on mine. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this area because that's what I want. Okay, I would essentially bring it over there. But another thing you can do, you can get the paintbrush, and before you get the paintbrush, you can come in with the eyedropper tool, and you can get the color. Like I want this color right here. So it changed my color down there. I always click it a few times because I want to make sure it's working. Zoom in, and then figure out the width of like what this is. And then I can just make a line right down here and connect it. Okay, so it's another way you could do it. And that makes the outside of Patrick. Now, I do want to get rid of some of these things so I can come into the spot healing. It will get rid of this stuff right here that I don't need anymore, right, since I fixed some of that. Okay, so you can do that. The spot healing is great in that instance. All right, so I have 2 things there. I do still need to erase part of his leg, but what I want to do now is I want to put these into a folder since I have them all done. I'm kind of like ready for like where they're at. And then I want to make sure though that my layer 3 stays behind my layer 1. Okay, this way with the folder, when I hit Control and not Control T, Command Control T or Shift Control T, I can resize them together. Okay, so hit Enter and then close my folder for a second. Now I want to look at his arm. Okay, attaching the arm, I can attach it here. I can zoom in again if I want to. And before I want to do anything else, I want to get the eraser and clean it up a little bit. Okay, I can erase this. I can erase this here. All right, so I'm erasing and cleaning up everything. Now, if I want to manipulate it like I have been doing, I can do Command Control T or Command Shift T, and I can change the arm's angle. Okay, fitting it on there. Now, if I wanted to duplicate it, you can go into Layer, Duplicate Layer, and make a copy of your layer. All right, so now I have 2. And if I want to, I can go into the folder with this because I want to make sure that I have like this basically underneath of his body, and then Command Shift T. Okay, I'm going to rotate it like this because part of his arm is coming out. If you think about the angle of it, and hit enter. You can also go into layer, and if you need to basically convert it a little bit, if you want to adjust it and transform it, you can go into edit, free transform, or you can rotate it. Like say you want to flip it horizontally or vertically. I'm going to flip it horizontally, and then that would just move the like direction of it. Okay, so if you need to just make it a little bit easier, that is another way you can do it. So now I have the arms on there, and I may even adjust this just a little bit to make sure it's a little bit more even. Okay, so we have those attached, and then it's already in one copy, like one folder together. So making sure that everything's together there. I want to put this in the folder, but what I want to do is make sure that it's above. All right, and then when I have the folder here, I can Command Control T again if I'm on my folder, and then move everything. Okay, I'm always hitting enter when I'm done. My last thing would be adding in Plankton's oh my god, I can't think of them. His little antennas. I must have tentacles, guys. Wow, I'm losing it. All right, once I have this, I can kind of rotate it a little bit to where I want them. I do need to clean it up a little bit. Okay, that's my only thing. Hit enter when I'm done. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to just erase that little bit of extra stuff that's right there with my eraser. It's not really that much. It's right here, and erase that, and making sure I'm on the correct layer. Okay, there we go. And voila. Now, what I could do if I really wanted to as well is I could drag this below Sandy and then adjust it with my arrow tool to make sure everything looks even. And there we go. The last thing I would do would be the feet. Now, since they're all in a folder together, you need to do a background too. And I'm going to start to X out some of my stuff as I go because I don't need it anymore. Like once you're good, you can really like close some of the extra stuff. Oh, don't want to X that one out. I want to X this SpongeBob out. And then I want this background, so I'm going to hit Command A or Control A, and I hit full screen. Remember, apple cider vinegar, ACV. That's my little trick is ACV. So Command or Control A, and then Command or Control C. And then when you come over here, Command or Control V. All right, and you want that completely below, but you don't want it in the folder. Okay, so you want to make sure you drag it completely below, or just drag the folder above it. Now that you have it, then you can adjust this if you want to, like Command Control T or Command or Control Shift T. Resizing, like if I want to just manipulate it a little bit. Put the sizing in, hit enter, and voila, I have my new character. When you're done, don't forget to hit File Save as PSD. Mine went right into my browser here. And then if you want to file export as a JPEG, if we can access on the computer otherwise too, you can check the percentage or the width here and hit save, and mine both saved. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this demo and have fun with the creation. Bye.